that account profile just gave us information that we haven't had before. We're able to understand the account, the players, the financials, the competition. You know, and there was some other really key things in there, especially the key
critical business drivers. Isn't that the word that she used?
Yeah. That
right.
research really enhanced our whole first approach into the account. Do you agree?
I do agree. I do agree. Cheers.
Cheers, bud.
That's great. So from there, I think we tried to develop this.
Oh shit. I gotta
drink up. So from there, it is great being on ice, right?
Yes, it is. On a warm day.
So from there, we took that information and we identified that critical business driver, and we came up with the
pain chain.
The pain chain. That's right. That's
you
right.
Know, there was a pillar though we had to focus on that for pain chains.
I think that it flows like the beer through the entire organization.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
You know.
That's what it was.
It was impressive how we were able to determine each employee's pain, the reasons behind it, and how it flowed.
There was you're right, there was an acronym that how we made sure that we could validate what we did. I think it was something about what bad things happened.
Exactly.
And whether it was they were hired, fired, and measured on, right?
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Man,
you know,
so nice.
It was nice to have that. I mean, that really.
It really was good.
That really made it so we could.
Cheers.
Take to the next step. You know, as we developed that pain chain, we really had to start thinking in a bigger picture. How are we going to get in there? So we really had to go with that. What was that next tool we had?
I think it was a business development tool.
Yeah.
And there was 4 choices, but since we'd already kind of started to do this across the country, what did we do?
Yeah, we used the reference approach.
That's right.
Oh, and we used Ted. Ted from North Dakota as our reference.
That's right. Ted Skinner?
Yeah.
Skinner, I think was his name.
Yeah, and you know, this gave us the opportunity to really start getting in there.
And we were driving towards the idea of understanding that we needed to prospect rather than those order takers in the food and beverage business, right?
I know, exactly. We really have. That's exactly right. You know, something that I did learn is remember that pillar. We always had to bring that pillar back up when we were doing this. You can't sell to someone
that can't buy?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember now. Gosh, it's all coming back to me.
It is. It's amazing, this process. Each step we went through kept enhancing our performance, making us better. So we had something to lean on and get into this account. Did you notice that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
So from there, we started working through the format of that reference story.
Yes.
And we were talking about some of the key components of that reference story. And we used that reference story to kind of summarize what we were going to do, I think.
Yep.
Identifying the situation and those critical business issues, the reasons and the capabilities, answering those questions of who, what, and when.
That's right. Oh, you did a great job with that, too.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And in the end, we took that reference story and we told them what? What did we tell them?
You know, we gave them we were able to provide them with the results and specific measurements.
That's right. The how our capabilities met their reasons and solved their critical business issues with specific, direct, measurable results.
Do you remember in the class that Pam was talking about that time where you take this information and you're able to extrapolate and get this value statement out there?
That's right.
You know, we were actually listening this year.
She was so good at that,
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
It was amazing.
So, well, cheers, man.
Hey, it's a cheers again.
Cheers to Pam.
Cheers to Pam.
So,
yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I can't. So from there, okay, so we had this whole idea put together. We had a reference story. We'd done our research and pre-call planning, and we kind of identified the direction we were going to go, or at least we thought we were going to go. But we had to put that succinctly together for them.
Yeah.
Some kind of.
It was another one of those formulas. You know, if you have benefits, if you take out your investment.
Yeah, you get the value.
That's it.
You get the value. That's
exactly.
what it was.
So what really we had to focus on is that initial value statement is demonstrate this value.
Yeah, I think word for word what she had said. A simple, clear statement addressing your target prospect, key quantified business you can offer to address their pain, and the projected total investment that provides these benefits on past experience.
That's exactly the way I remember it.
Word for word.
Word for word.
Man,
Cheers.
cheers.
So, we've done all that. We're following each procedure, or, form. We got to that one point, and we started looking at it. We knew we had to really focus on that. And what was that next key point or document we had to work on?
We had pain sheet, I think.
Yeah. That was it. And didn't we have to do like the situational thing?
The fluency prompter.
Yeah, that was it.
There was some pillars tied to that prompter, if I recall correctly. It was people buy from vendors. That's right. Food and beverage vendors.
Yes, food and beverage.
Oh,
vendors.
there we go.
Yeah. But I really do remember it. It was people buy from people because we need to be.
And power buys from power.
Exactly. And the way you presented yourself, you came across as a real powerful guy.
Thanks, Jim. You too. Especially with your 5-finger shoes on that day, that really sealed the deal for us.
I agree with you. It was the socks.
It was the socks in conjunction with the 5-finger shoes. I agree.
There was one other pillar.
That's right. There was 3. This is a critical juncture in this process.
It really
We weren't
is.
lined up. What was that last one?
We had to diagnose because a lot of times some of our peers in the other industries, they just like to prescribe.
Kind of like Funnywell. I've heard Funnywell do that same thing.
When you were at the liquor store picking up our beer to celebrate, I saw these guys crying in the corner.
That must have been Nathan. Call him. Sorry, call him. So true.
So yeah, we had to describe before we
diagnose before we prescribe.
There you go. Thank you. I'm celebrating too much.
So right. So from there, but we laid out that pain sheet, but there was some questions that we had to drill down and get, and I think the drivers to those was how much, how often, and how many, right?
Exactly. And that drill down really helped us focus on those critical reasons, what's going on, because you don't want to go to the capabilities to understand the reasons and then go into your impact.
That's right. That's right. Man, I can even just picture us there. Do you remember that?
Oh! Hold on a second. Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
Hey Brian, how you doing?
Hey, doing well, Shane. Good to see you.
Good. Hey, so last time we spoke, as a facility manager, you tell me that it sounded like the biggest issue was decreased profitability.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, after all, I was hired to increase profitability. It's something I get measured on, and it's something that I could be fired if we don't start.
You could be fired on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How does that make you feel?
It's a serious issue. It's concerning. It keeps me up in this.
Keeps you up at night?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, don't worry about it. I think we can take care of you.
Sounds great.
So let's explore some of those reasons this may be happening. So, do you think maybe it's because your facilities aren't ready for production?
Kind of obvious, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah, I'd say. So what is your expected daily production rate?
Well, as you know, being in the oil and gas industry, each well comes on pretty strong initially, and then it tapers off over time. So that's something where, it can vary from well to well, but ideally for our shareholders, we'd like to see about 1,000 barrels a day from each of our wells.
So 1,000 barrels a day?
Yep.
Okay. Well, how many days behind schedule do you guys think you are?
It's tough. I mean, overall, I'd probably say about 10 days behind schedule. I mean, we have some wells that are completed right on time. We have other wells, though, where we're more than a month.
So 10 days at 1,000 barrels a day?
Yep. And that happens on pretty much
every well?
Yep.
Okay. So how often is this happening?
Again, probably every well. It varies, but some are on time, but pretty much every.
And how many wells are we talking about?
Ideally, we'd like to see 100 completed by the end of the year. Right now, we're only on pace to do about 80, but ideally 100.
So you've got a major issue then, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Could it also be because you're increasing project costs too?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
How much is your project over budget?
Well, tough to say right now. I'd have to get with my finance people to get you an exact number, but I know we're definitely in the 7 figures. So, $1 million at least.
$1 million at least?
Yep.
Okay. So what about re-engineering services? How much have you spent there?
Oh, probably about half that. I would say
So another
easily
$500,000.
500,000, yeah, $500,000.
Okay. What about instrumentation that isn't working? Do you spend a lot on that?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, we've brought in a number of different instruments, probably 50 at least 2,000 a pop. So, you know, 100,000 easily.
100,000. So you're looking at 1.6 million roughly.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Could it also be because you're overpaying royalties to leaseholders?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a significant concern. Fortunately, we haven't gotten any complaints or lawsuits yet, knock on wood.
Well, how close would you say that your allocation and custody transfer measurements compare?
You know, we have issues going from summer to winter. You know, as the oil actually expands, sometimes we get some differences there. So sometimes it's within 10%, other times it's as much as 20% away, but it's probably fair to estimate that it's within 15% on average.
Within 15%?
Yep.
Okay. So tell me, how do you even know that your liquid measurement's accurate?
Well, I mean, we compare the 2 meters, the allocation and custody transfer, and if the two of them are within 15%, we generally call it good.
Okay. So what kind of diagnostics are you guys actually using to determine this?
Diagnostics? What's that? We don't have anything like that. Meter just sits there and spins all day long, and you know.
That may be part of your problem right there.
It's possible. Yep. Do you have something that could address that?
I'm wondering something else.
Sure.
How do you know that you're not measuring gas as liquid?
Oh, we probably are. I mean, like I said, it just sits there and spins all day.
Okay, so you guys have known this potential
Yeah,
issue.
absolutely. Yep.
How much money do you guys think you're overpaying leaseholders?
It's tough. I mean, like I said, between the allocation and custody transfer measurements, we're estimating that we're probably over measuring by about 15% on average.
About 15% still?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We have some capabilities that I think we can definitely eliminate this issue for you with. What if, when you designed your well facilities, you included Emerson in your vision for allocation measurement so that you could meet your production deadlines?
Yeah, as long as Emerson can deliver a complete solution on time, I think we could easily meet our production deadlines, and that would be a great help.
Okay, well that's good to know. Well, what if when you started your well pad vision, you could implement a heater treater level solution, minimizing man hours and instrumentation costs so that you could keep costs low and under budget?
Sounds great. How can we do that?
Be on board with that, huh?
Yep, yep.
Okay, well, it gets better. What if, when you deployed your heater treater solution, you could access real-time flow measurements and monitor production operation health, providing an accurate single-phase flow measurement so that you're correctly paying your leaseholders and eliminating the decrease in cost in production?
Sounds almost too good to be true.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we'll be in touch.
All right, I appreciate it.
Man, that was great.
You know, that memory, it was so... Do you notice how that 9 block just really played into our whole program?
Yep.
It was impressive. And you know what it did? It gave us the next step. Do you
Yeah.
remember that next one we filled out?
Well, once we got confirmation that they wanted to discuss further, I think we kind of outlined that information and sent it to Bill, right? Who was our, what was
it was our power sponsor.
power
letter.
sponsor? That's right. That's right.
You know, it was cool because remember how Pam always did this? Chop.
Yeah.
This alignment?
Yes.
That's what I visualized.
So
when I was
true.
writing that letter, we have to be in alignment.
So true. There were
You know?
6 points that we had to be in, that we confirmed that alignment with, I think. We identified that we agreed upon the pain
Yep, we got that.
and the reasons for the pain.
We found that.
We highlighted the buying vision that we were going to provide.
We confirmed it.
And then the organizational impacts that we anticipated giving them.
Yeah.
Confirmed their agreement to explore.
Agreed.
Ah, so true. And then most importantly, we had a document that was outlining what we were going to do next.
Oh, that was something I got excited on. 'Cause,
So true.
you know, that really took us to the next level.
Cheers.
You know, do you remember how we attached it to our power sponsor letter?
Yep.
And the response we got from Bill?
Yeah, we had the opportunity to sit down and review that draft evaluation plan, to go through step by step with those dates.
Yep.
Look at the go, no-go steps in terms of when it was opportunities for either party to get out of the sale, right?
Remember how we were able to identify the key beneficiaries?
Absolutely.
I was impressed how many people we had in this organization that were highlighted when that popped up, because they started helping us edit the document and say, hey, I like this, change that. It really gave us an opportunity to summarize our findings, gave us an opportunity to look at costs, and then identify implementation in the transition plan.
Transition plan is important. We all know the oil and gas industry, like the previous group discussed. They talked about how busy everybody is and how they have so little time to do anything. So we had to outline that information in the draft evaluation plan, and then most importantly, I just said it, we sent it as a draft, so that way they could alter it, right?
Yep, it is always, I like to use the term as an evergreen document, because we were able to work with them to make it into something more both parties own.
Agreed. From there, we went with that, we helped part of that transition plan and identify those reasons that they were going to have problems with implementing our solution, right?
Exactly. And that, you know, there was a little, they were nervous. I remember that some of those meetings, how nervous they were, especially when we weren't able, you know, when they were sitting there trying to put their hands around it going from point A to point B.
Do you remember what we did to calm them?
No, what was it?
We helped. They started to realize that the relationship that we were developing with them was based on value.
Exactly.
We were bringing them value.
And you know, that was one of the pillars that we highlighted in the training we had, wasn't it?
Yep.
The best relationships are based on value.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then this always reminds me of my kids that people make emotional decisions for logical
Reasons.
That's right. So that allowed us to work through that transition plan with them, identify those potential reasons, give them the capabilities that we were going, or show them the capabilities we were going to offer to meet those reasons.
Exactly.
And then we did what?
You know, we were going through it each step, and all this was building, and now we're ready to move on with the value analysis.
That's right. Cheers.
Cheers.
So the last part of that, the first part of that value analysis is we identified what we were measuring, what we were going to address to that group, to Bill and his group, and how we'd help Ted, and then who would be responsible for it.
That was key, because we were able to show the responsibilities and how much is possible, how much we were able to, you know, bring to this analysis.
And when it was going to be paid for in terms of their initial investment.
And you know, where we hit a home run was that ROI.
Man, 1,342%.
You know, we should wear sunglasses into the office on Monday.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. The other thing too, I think we realized from this document,
what's that?
it was kind of that silent sales call where it worked its way around the organization.
You're right.
One of those things where it was so beautiful because it just spread like wildfire, but we didn't actually have to do the spreading.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
And the last thing, it was just so great to have been through that value analysis and show them that real ROI.
That was.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers. You know, we have one more document that really kind of just brought it together for us. Do you remember what that was?
I think it was how we were going to succeed, or success criteria.
Exactly. You know, it was impressive too, because we were able to show where we got the information from.
Yep.
So they could own it with us.
And I think that allowed us to have those quarterly meetings to follow up with them and make sure that we were staying on track and potentially identifying what may be other opportunities.
Do you remember how many phone calls we got when they said our meters were crap because they weren't working?
It's like a broken record, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we stayed on top of it because this document kept us in there.
That's so true, so true. And then, right before we sealed the deal, we were dealing with that darn purchasing agent.
Oh,
Natalie?
Andy.
Oh, Andy, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Andy.
Man, Andy was tough on us.
He really was. It seems like he kept hitting us up. I don't remember what did we do? We put together some negotiation things that involved.
Yeah, this was before we went in on the meeting. We did that give-get.
That's right. That's right.
You know, what was nice about that is you and I had an idea of what we were walking into. We were able to assign values of what we were going to give and get, what was high to them, and put dollar values to it. But there was a part we wouldn't touch. What was that?
I think we talked about that 30 days payment terms. We know how everybody is a stickler on that.
Yeah.
What was the other thing too?
A discount. We weren't going to touch that.
We did not want to give up on discount. We were already providing more value to the next guy. Those Crones or Funnywells, whatever.
Yeah. Do you remember how we Whoa, wait, there was a pillar though, wasn't there? Isn't there a pillar on this one?
If you're not ready to walk, you're not ready to talk.
That's right, or sell.
Oh, sell, that's what it was. Yeah, not talk, sell. Sell.
Okay, so, you know, I really remember that negotiation. You remember that?
I do, it was great.
Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, good morning, Trevor. How you doing?
Hi, Lee, how you doing today?
Good. Say, so what did you want to discuss today that you brought me in here?
Well, you know, I've been reviewing the project and think that we could probably close this deal today if we had probably another 10% off the bottom line here.
Really, Trevor? Well, you know, our published evaluation plan has this implementation starting in 1 month. Is this issue worth further delays in the project?
Well, you know, we feel with all the delays that we've already had, and you know, it would be worth that additional 10%.
Geez, Trevor. You know, we also showed you that with our ROIs and all the numbers that the lost time and decline in production, the estimated return after the first year was over $20 million, and our ROI was over 1,300%. Doesn't that justify the value?
You know, that sounds great, but with all the future amount of business and the amount of amount of wells we're going to be drilling, you know, I just feel like that 10% additional discount is where we want to be.
Geez, Trevor, you know, also you explained in your words, without these capabilities, you told me you're having difficulties accurately measuring directly off the treaters, which would not be able to make accurate royalty payments. Isn't that worth the value?
You know, Lee, that is a true statement, but, you know, that's just not what I'm hired, fired, or measured on, so, you know, I need that 10%.
Is this the only issue standing in the way of us making a deal today, Trevor?
That's correct.
Well, you know, the only way that I can do something for you is if you can do something for me. What if I could provide you with some additional value? Would that be acceptable?
Sure, Lee. What are you thinking?
Is it possible for you to introduce my team to the production superintendent for your Bakken assets?
I think that'd be possible.
Well, Trevor, if you can do that for us and introduce us to that person, then we're offered to give you 5 days of my promotion training, which we feel is worth $15,000. Can we go forward with this agreement?
Lee, I think we can move forward on that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Trevor. Thank you.
You know, Seth, wasn't that an amazing process we went through?
It was so great.
You know, solution selling.
Cheers,
Cheers.
buddy.